section 2.2, slope and rate of change, day 1. The slope of a non-vertical line is the ratio of vertical change, which is the rise, to horizontal change, which is the run. If we look at the graph of a line, and we choose 2 points on that line, the slope would be the change in the rise over the change in the run. So this would be your rise, the y-axis, and this would be the run for the x-axis. The formula we would use would be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So change in y over the change in x. Here we want to find the slope of each of these lines. So we'll use our formula and substitute our y values, substitute our x values, and this will give us a slope of -4/5. If we looked at these 2 points on a graph, we can conclude a line that has a negative slope is a falling line. In our second example, the slope of this line, our change in y over our change in x, will give us 0/1, which is equal to 0. Looking at these 2 points on a graph, (3, 5) and 4, 5, this will give us a horizontal line. So any line that has a 0 slope will be a horizontal line. Here in example C, this will give us a slope of 3/5. If I plot these 2 points, I have a line that is rising. So any line that has a positive slope will be a line that is rising. And lastly, this slope would be undefined. We can see our 0 underneath in our fraction. If I plot these 2 points, you can see that I have a vertical line. So any line that has a slope that is undefined will be a vertical line. So now knowing what we do about slope, we can determine whether a line rises, falls, or is horizontal or vertical based on the slope of that line. So here, if I find the slope in example A, my slope is negative, therefore my line is falling. In example B, my slope is undefined. That tells me that my line is vertical. To compare steepness of lines, for 2 lines with positive slopes, the line with the greater slope is steeper, and for 2 lines with negative slopes, the line with the slope of a greater absolute value is steeper. When we use the word steeper, you can think about skiing or snowboarding. The more difficult hills are the steeper hills, right? The less difficult it is, then it's less steep. So here we want to determine which line is steeper. So if I find the slope of line 1, I have 7 minus 3 over 4 minus 2, which will give me a slope of 2. And my second line will have a slope of 3 over 5. And if I compare the number 2 to the number 3/5, 2 is larger, therefore we would say that line 1 is steeper. In example B, the slope of line 1 is -1/2. And the slope of line 2 is -1/3. I want to take the absolute value of -1/2, which is +1/2. I want to take the absolute value of -1/3, which is +1/3. And 1/2 is larger than 1/3. Therefore, line 1 again would be steeper.